The most basic use for an aircraft carrier is to use them directly in real-time combat. In this demonstration, I got a longbow. That's the default aircraft carrier you get in the game. And I'm going to send it over to this town. However, before I attack, I'm going to buy some supplies. In this town, we only have 122mm aircraft rockets. Now I'm going to send the aircraft carrier in. I'm going to send one of them in. Here. Okay, now before I start the fight, I bought those missiles, rockets rather. And if you directly engage in real-time combat, you don't have to manually equip the rockets or any type of armaments you have on the planes. They will be automatically selected, and the planes have them loaded in real-time combat. Start. Now, as the game advises me, if I press X, I launch a plane. Now, when you're launching planes, and they're set up to fly off to the left side on this particular model, as you can see here, make sure that the flight deck is not tilted upwards. It should be horizontal or downwards, because otherwise the plane will crash or might crash into another plane or in the structure of the ship. Now what is going to happen, as you can see, the aircraft are going to strike the enemy, and they're using those missiles, rockets by default. And once they run out of rockets, they're going to use their 37mm cannons. As you can see, they're quite effective at attacking enemy targets on their own. The only thing you have to do with your aircraft carrier is try to stay alive and dodge enemy fire while they're doing it. The second use scenario is to use your aircraft to attack distant targets while your carrier remains with the main fleet. I'm going back into the shop. And we have different armaments available. Those are aircraft missiles. When you click on it, it says air-to-air missiles. The purpose of those is to shoot down other enemy aircraft. We are not going to use those now. Then we got those 122mm rockets. Let's buy some of those. And we got 100 kilo bombs. And don't get confused by them being bombs. They're not just for ground targets. The AI of the planes is good enough to hit moving targets with them too. Go back up. And I'm going to strike this target over here. Now to prepare a fleet, click on this. And those are the 8 planes you have on the aircraft carrier. And as you mouse over them, you can see the armaments you can select. And the LA-21s, those are subsonic planes. And the T-7s are supersonic, which means they're faster. You can select which type of armament you want. Now, one thing to note is when you're attacking a distant target that you order to attack, if you just send them out with 37mm cannons, they will not attack the target. They will still defend themselves against other airplanes, and they will still use them in combat where aircraft carrier is present. However, they won't be used to strike different targets in the distance. So for this loadout, I'm going to click a few bombs, rockets. See, until it says 0, then they're fully loaded. Over here, let's mix the load. Okay. And now we can just left click where we want them to fly. And it's a left click, it's not a right click like on a fleet waypoint. Click on this. You can see they're flying pretty fast. You can see that little yellow circle, that's the tracking radar. That's not the radar, it's the tracking, it's the real-time radar. Anything comes into the yellow circle, it will be seen in real time. Now you don't have any control over the aircraft in here, you can just tell them to retreat. See what they can do. Now if you win the battle, the plane will automatically return to your aircraft carrier. However, if you click retreat, they will still circle the area, so you have to manually click on them and order them back. In this situation, enemy missiles coming in, which I can see by the IRST spike. If there's a spike like this, that means something with a hot exhaust is coming at my fleet. I'm sending planes to intercept. And the intercept fails. That's because I didn't equip them with anti-aircraft missiles. The next use case for aircraft is to spot for your fleet from a distance. You use them as recon aircraft. Now for this demonstration, I've turned this town hostile by staying there too long. And now I know this strike group is coming for me. 16 hours ago it was reported over here. It's supposed to come this direction. And an enemy search radar is looking for me coming from this direction over here. Now, there's several options how you can do this. For example, you could send out a large force, armed, and hope you would find it. Or what I'm going to do first is I'm going to send single planes in various directions and see if they can make contact with anything. Send one over here. I'm just loading the basic cannon on it. Let's see what you can find. Is finding nothing. Oh, on the way back they actually spotted the plane 1 hour ago. Now we got a hard target, we can attack with the plane. Let's see what they can do. Okay, I'm going to load up bombs and some rockets.
Attention, new target on the radar.
The attack will keep going until you run out of armaments over here. Once those 3 are 0, you can just press retreat. There's no purpose anymore. Press retreat. Now after pressing retreat, you have to still manually tell it to retreat. I think it might be a bug in the game because it will still try to attack the strike force, or maybe it's too close in the proximity and it will trigger combat. So what you can do is you click on it and you right click back on your fleet. And that is how you strike, and if you're lucky, find an enemy strike force. Now the purpose of that is that you can do some damage to it. Even if you don't destroy it completely, you can do some damage to it. So when it comes to attack you, it's already damaged. Or you can damage it so hard they actually turn away from you and go for repairs. And another advantage that planes have over cruise missiles, or tactical or strategic missiles, is that you can load them up with ordnance, you can send them somewhere, and if they don't find anything or they didn't drop the ordnance, they fly back and keep it. However, if you use a missile for a recon purpose like that, you just shoot it, and if it misses, and you waste the entire missile. I think this concludes the guide, and as always, thanks for watching.